Hey guys, Ryan here with the week of June 17th programming. Our announcement slide has changed a little bit. We had a great time with the business after hours. Thanks for those of you that could join us there, do a little sweat working. So want to start pushing this volunteer day with Project Grows, a fantastic organization we've partnered with. Like I said, we've already given $1,000 to them. They help to end hunger in the area with healthy, nutritious, sustainable alternatives. So if you can make it to their farm between the hours of 2 and 7 on Thursday, the 27th. You can help volunteer there. If you're going to stick around for dinner, let us know by RSVPing on a link we have in our news group. You don't have to RSVP to volunteer, but if you're going to stick around for dinner, please let us know so we can get a head count. You guys probably seen some information about nutrition info sessions. So if you want to learn more about our one-on-one nutrition coaching with Coach Danny and Coach Chelsea, please check that out. The info sessions are free. It's a great way to learn about how you can tighten up your nutrition and start to really accelerate your results. Something we haven't posted yet, but coming is our commitment club. We want to recognize those that are getting to the gym and committing to a healthy lifestyle and exercising 2 to 3 times a week. You're going to start hearing more about that commitment club. And then always be aware of on our website, 3xf.fitness, we have our InBody schedule posted. So you get a chance to use our InBody and get a link to the guest pass. If you've got 10 times a month or more membership, you have 1 guest pass a month to use. So if you want to register somebody to come work out with you, use that link on the members page or on the web page on the members tab. So into our workout. So this past Saturday, we did some snatch mechanics work, skill work. And then on Monday, we're going to actually hit the snatch hard. It's going to be a lot different than Saturday, though, because not just working on technique, but we're actually going to lift heavy and lift a lot this day. So expect to get good technique and practice with the snatch, and then have the ability to start working up in some weight in our strength portion that day in CrossFit. And then you're going to partner up, and you guys are going to do a lot of snatches there. It's going to be very useful and help dialing in technique there. You're also going to throw in some air squats to make it a little bit more fun for you. So come check out that partner workout. You don't have to have the same weight on the bar as your partner. And we've got alternatives if you're not familiar with the snatch or you don't like the snatch, for you still to be able to participate in this and still have a fun time with somebody working out with them. Extra credit that day, mobility. We're going to work on mobility, and then our skills acceleration will be the power snatch. So we're going to do a lot of snatch review and practice and some different variations in how to lift with both strength and volume, but we may not get a chance to review the power snatch pulling from the floor in class, so we'll save that for the skills acceleration for some classes. If you want to learn that technique from getting that barbell off the floor, not just going from the hang position, come check out skills acceleration. Vitality for Monday CVC. So this is interesting because we've got a couple movements in here that normally show up in confidence workouts with the med ball shuffle and the goblet up downs. So that means you're going to spend less time with these movements than you normally would in a confidence workout, which means with the med ball shuffle, you're going to not break that up with the lateral shuffle like we do with the confidence workout. You're going to try to maintain that good back position, even if you have to move slower during this, because you get to break it in half with a 15-minute rest in between those 45-second efforts. With the goblet up downs, if you normally use a weight for that confidence workout, we're going to give you the opportunity to work up to a heavier weight here, following that vitality intention of moving up in that intensity. All right, and then the cleans sometimes fall in vitality, sometimes fall in confidence most often. So just, again, another chance to go a little bit heavier with that, and then working up with the push press as you feel comfortable. Tuesday in CrossFit, we've got pull-ups. We got a couple different options there for you to work on your pull-ups. If you're looking at the blue option there, you see they're not weighted pull-ups. So that's a chance to really work on a good pull. So no chicken necking there. If you've got some pull-ups and that volume 4x8 or maybe at the orange 4x5 is not too intimidating for you, then I want you to really work on getting that nice deep pull where you're starting to pull your chest closer to the bar, and maybe you can work up to a strict chest to bar pull-up that day. It's really going to help you overall with your pull-ups. Then we've got a quick workout. This is very similar to Fran or our lactic tolerance test on the map, but instead of thrusters, we're doing front squats. So the goal here is to get this done in under 5 minutes, or in about 5 minutes probably. Breaking up as little as possible, hopefully only a couple breaks during those big sets of 21 and 15. At the blue there, 15 and 12. So you're still trying to move fast through this, and you may not be able to knock out 21 chest to bar pull-ups, but you may be able to keep a high intensity with a little lower rep scheme and still doing those skipping pull-ups. Extra credit that day is going to be a cool down. It's really going to work on shoulder health. So no skills acceleration that day, just the shoulder health extra credit you can do before or after class. Most likely you want to do it after class. All right, so we're in commitment month, and we're going to do our commitment strength workout. It's a 24-minute EMOM, meaning every minute on the minute, you're going to do these movements listed here. And the goal of this strength commitment workout is to move as fast as you can, or as heavy as you can, or as hard as you can. So it's going to beep on the minute. You're going to row 150 meters or 125 meters as fast as you can. Whatever time you have left to rest is going to be somewhere between 25 and 35 seconds, most likely. You'll move to the next movement where you'll do jackknives at the highest skill level you can do. 14 of those. Whatever time you have left will be rest until the clock beeps again on the next minute for your double kettlebell rack step up. So we want you to have a moderate height there on that step up, but lifting as heavy as you can. You only got to do 6 step ups on each leg there. And then we're going to do some heavy dumbbell hang cleans. I'm excited about that because in our strength portions, we're usually doing squats or pressing or deadlifts. I'm glad to throw in some Olympic lifting that day and see how heavy we can get. Yeah, it should be a fun time there. Wednesday in CrossFit, our strength portion is actually working on some gymnastic skills and core strength. So you're going to have a 12-minute EMOM, another every minute on the minute, but it's going to alternate. So the first minute will be some type of core work, either L-sits or hanging knee raises or hollow holds, and you're going to accumulate as much time as possible in the time frames you have listed there, which will give you 15 to 30 seconds to rest before you start the next minute and start the handstand practice. You'll need a strategy for this core work. A full 45 seconds of hanging knee raise is really hard to do. So you're going to have to decide, do I want to work for 10 seconds, rest for 5, work for another 10? How do I get the most work in those 45 seconds? And then we'll have lots of scaling options for you, for those handstand options. Maybe not even getting upside down, but starting to get more comfortable with balancing on your hands or feeling more pressure in your hands there. And then the workout is another gymnastics heavy workout, or body strength heavy workout with push-ups or handstand push-ups, knees to elbows or toes to bar, and box jumps. So 9 rounds of this is going to look intimidating, so you're going to have to find the right scaling option, and the coaches are going to talk about how to approach this to make sure that this doesn't go bad for you, and you still get plenty of work that you need to get in that day. It's cool down with some rowing and mobility, and then the skills acceleration will be kipping that day. So I'm looking forward to this hump day hit class. It's really, to me, has a lot of CrossFit feel to this. In fact, that's how I kind of was inspired to design this. It may look confusing, but you'll get the hang of this. Basically, the clock's beeping every 90 seconds. Sometimes you're working for that full 90 seconds. Sometimes some rest is built into that. So look at the first 3-minute chunk there. The first 90 seconds of those 3 minutes is going to be going through that dumbbell sequence. 2 dumbbell rack squats and 2 dumbbell deadlifts. And you cycle through that as many times as you can in 90 seconds, probably getting through it 5 or 6 times. And then as soon as the clock beeps at the end of that 90 seconds, you're doing 8 burpees. And you'll rest until that full 3 minutes is done. So that's 2 90-second efforts of work. So you may have a 45 seconds to a minute of rest before you start your 45 seconds of jump rope and 45 seconds of rest. Again, another 90-second interval there. That gives you 4.5 minutes of work. So then you keep following that pattern for the rest of the sequence. And that's going to give you about 20-some minutes of work, 21, 22 minutes of work there. You'll just see that the number of squats and deadlifts that you do at a time through that AMREP starts to increase. So you get through it less times, but hopefully you're getting the same number of overall reps in. You just have to cycle the dumbbells less. So you're going to want to start kind of conservatively on your pacing there, because you'll end up with 50 or 60 reps of each of those with weight. So challenge the weight, but don't go overboard on that, and don't cycle too fast on this thinking you've got 20 minutes of work left to do. But there's plenty of rest built in as well, so you can be successful with this. And then at the end, you do not have to end on jump ropes. You get to end with those burpees and be done. On Thursday for CrossFit, we've got the whole class is dedicated to about 20-minute workout here. We don't get a chance to do a whole lot of clean and jerk, so we're going to spend some time getting everybody refreshed with the clean and jerk, even if you're not using it in the workout. We may have most people doing push presses, so we'll save some of that jerk work until the skills acceleration. But everybody will have the ability to do some push pressing in this that day. So you've got about a minute or so of running, depending on the weight that you're using for the power cleans and jerks. You've got probably another minute of work there, maybe a little bit less if you're cycling really well. And then over a minute probably of sit-ups and then a minute of rest. And you see where this after 5 rounds starts to be a 20-minute workout. You need to pace yourself and not sprint those rounds, and really work on technique with the clean and jerk and using that barbell before you increase weight. More mobility for the extra credit. So lots of mobility this week because we have some intense workouts. And like I said, that skills acceleration is the push jerk. Vitality workout that day. Quite a bit of upper body between the burpees and ring rows and kettlebell halos, but it's manageable because you're not standing at any movement for too long with only that 35-second work intervals. Moving up in intensity in all of these is possible. You can go heavy with those halos. We'll have a strategy for how to approach the burpees and the ring rows. And of course, you can always go higher on those box jumps to increase your intensity there, or step ups if that's what you're doing. Friday, we have no strength and about a 13-minute workout here with some rowing as the buy-in. So we're going to spend some of this time before class doing some rowing technique, and we also have a great cash out or extra credit to add into that class time as well. So expect some rowing technique, and then you'll do that for the buy-in to the workout where we've got a fun workout where you're doing wall balls and double unders, and you're kind of pacing this, not to go through it as fast as possible, but to go through it without getting penalties so you can do it as fast as possible. So if you end up having to break up your wall balls each round, you're going to have a penalty to pay with some type of pull-up or muscle-up. If that's what you can do. Or if you start to mess up your jump ropes, you'll have a penalty to pay. So you're going to have to strategically take rest and push yourself when you can to avoid those penalties. Like I said, a lot of extra credit that day to round out the class with dumbbell floor presses and rows, and the skills acceleration will be double unders. A commitment workout on Friday. So 30-30 in our commitment sequence is very similar to our 24-minute EMOM, except that these are static efforts, and where the EMOM, the strength-based EMOM, was really working on a lot of strength and high-level skill stuff. The commitment workout on Friday, even though it's about 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds of rest like we did in that EMOM, this is going to have your heart rate blasting up with those ring-assisted jump squats, the shuttle run, the kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls. The only chance to really catch your breath is going to be with that plank march. So 2 different feels there. If you get a chance to do both of those, you should feel 2 different ways by the time you're done with that workout, but both should be pretty intense. Lifting class. So no deadlifting this week. So it'd be a great way to work on our deadlift technique. And if you're like me, you have a hard time getting those heavy deadlifts off the ground. Once I get that bar moving, I feel pretty good and can move through a few reps, but sometimes I have a hard time getting that bar unglued from the floor. So that's what the deficit deadlift work would help with. And then the next movement there with the deadlift, the snatch grip deadlift, is going to help with speed through the hips. Then we're going to keep working that backside with our Nordic curls. Those help with the hamstrings. And then the dumbbell shrugs are just playing into that overall deadlift and Olympic lifting theme with making sure we're working on those traps at the same time we're working explosive hips. And we got some core work to round out that class. Rowing is our test for the 9 o'clock class on Saturday in Fishersville. Our confidence workout that day will be, so you're not going to row for 20 minutes, but you'll row for at least 6 minutes, and you're going to do 24 minutes work. So if you're avoiding a 20-minute row, you're still going to do about 24 minutes of work. Still lots of cardio that day. And then you got AMRAP of push-ups and sit-ups, lunge trio to make it a very balanced day there. The total body is being worked, and the kettlebell half get-up is going to work on shoulder health and core strength. All right, see you guys this week.